we all like to believe, and I think it's a bit of misconception that performing well at a camp or a combine is going to be the way that we get recruited. And that was my personal experience. I happened to be a pretty good athlete. I got drafted in the 5th round out of high school, played professional baseball for almost 10 years. Really didn't get recruited by college coaches, though, because they didn't know who I was. So I would say that someone like me is the exception and not the rule. That's not typical that you go out and just get seen at a camp or even a showcase, ID camp, anything like that. So, Phil, I'm going to come right back to you. How does these student athletes get noticed at camps? What do they do beforehand? How do they put themselves in a better position to get acknowledged or noticed at a camp?
Absolutely, Kyle. We can't always be that exception like yourself. Super talented amongst yourself. But again, if you're like me and a lot of other student athletes out there, we always want to show up to a camp. We definitely want to put our best foot forward. We definitely want to show up looking to perform and leave it all out on the field, the court, whatever it may be. But there's a lot of different avenues that those college coaches take into account outside of just your ability on that one day or that one weekend or 1 week, whatever that duration of that camp is. College coaches, they like to take a more holistic, overview. Okay, they want to know about demeanor. They want to know about character. They want to know about, how that athlete performs under fatigue. There's a lot of factors that college coach is going to be overviewing at a potential camp. And it goes far, far, far beyond just actually performing to a really good level. And I have a personal experience of it. When I was going through my recruiting process, throughout my camp journey, one of the camps that I actually attended was the camp over at Grand Valley State University. Okay, it's a school out in Michigan, really a good program. And I drove up 6 hours to that camp my sophomore year in high school. And it was a camp where once I arrived, all of a sudden I got the flu. I wasn't feeling great. Okay, I wasn't feeling great. And I didn't perform well. But I talked to the coaches beforehand. They knew I was coming. They knew a little bit about my film prior to me showing up. They saw that although I was struggling on the field during the camp, they saw that I still had a good attitude. They saw that I still had a good demeanor. They saw that I was going to get water like I was the water boy of the year. All these things matter outside of just that normal athletic ability. And best believe, if you have one day to impress a college coach, it's about the full picture, not just how we perform.
Pam, you have more experience than probably me and Phil combined to do when it comes to identifying prospects and evaluating prospects from your coaching experience. Talk to us a little bit about how you determined who you're going to pay attention to, who you're going to watch, who you're going to evaluate specifically when it came to the camps you guys ran.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we tailored our camps at the Division III level where they were mostly invite only. But I did work at my alma mater. We had a large camp where it was more oriented towards bringing people in to experience the opportunities to just have a great time playing soccer for the week. But I think when it comes to the ID camps, the biggest thing for me when it comes to evaluating those players is it is a very holistic process. Just because we're having that one-day clinic, that's not necessarily going to make it or break it in regard to their recruitment. Of course, you want to show up, play the best that you can, have a positive attitude. But I think in addition to that, being able to make sure that you're reaching out beforehand and indicating that you're interested in that coach, in that program, in that school is going to be a really huge piece of the puzzle here in regard to your recruitment. Having opportunities to be able to showcase yourself beyond that scope of that camp, because we are building relationships over the course of years at times to find prospects that match our mold and match what we're looking for in the recruiting process. So showing up at a camp and expecting a coach to just say, I want this kid, I'm going to sign them, I'm going to give them a scholarship, or I'm going to add them to my roster and make sure that they're a part of my team isn't necessarily how it always happens. There are some of those diamonds in the rough that can pop up where, they showcase themselves so well that you want to reach out to that kid immediately. But for the most part, it's a much more holistic process where you're developing relationships over the course of years. And you need to make sure that before you attend that ID clinic, before you attend that camp, you've tried to build a connection with that coach or that coaching staff, whether it's an assistant or the head coach, to make sure that they understand that you want to be on their radar and that you're interested in their program and what they have to offer you in regard to their school that they're coaching at.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, and I know you did, click our logo so you can subscribe to our channel and check out the other videos on our page for all things recruiting.